And here we go. The players are off. Eli Swafford on Azorius Oculus up against Ray Zhang on Teamer Otters. Land for both players back over to Eli, who needs to get things going and going fast. Oh, dear.
How about not going at all, as that is
Ugh.
a missed land drop for Eli. So things are going to halt in their tracks here.
Okay, so that is a tough break there for Eli. Second turn of the game. Yikes. Thundertrap Trainer is going to be the play though for Ray, who is starting to get the game plan underway.
Yeah, Eli does find a second land, so can start rolling things, but nothing in the graveyard right now. I would assume with the second land pass that this hand does contain at least one copy of Picklock Prankster / Free the Fae, getting ready to resolve here. But for Ray, they are well and truly rolling already, as we see the Enduring Vitality come down. We do see the Storm Chaser's talent being found, and the first test Eli has passed by having an answer to the Enduring Vitality.
All right, so Enduring Vitality taken care of from Eli, which is very important as it is a critical piece of the combo here for Ray Zhang.
Yeah, now, it is a temporary answer, as Soul Partition does exile it, but you can cast it again by paying 2 more later on, another one of these exile effects. So it will cost Ray some extra mana, but they can get their vitality back. What Eli needed to do was buy time for himself, which he has done so far.
Here's another Thundertrap Trainer for Ray Zhang. So taking a look at the top 4 cards of the library, they can reveal a non-creature, non-land, put it into their hand, and the rest on the bottom of the library.
Yeah, and that's a Bushwhack found there.
All right, so Bushwhack, the choice here for Ray Zhang, who is really a master of this Teamer Otters deck, and in fact, combo decks in general, online known as combo for the sake of combo, which this deck certainly is.
Yeah, CFT Sock has been an online crusher for an incredibly long time, but over the past few years has translated the massive amount of skill they have in addition to deck building prowess into becoming not only a Pro Tour regular, but also Pro Tour top 8s and World Championship appearances. Ray is a player that is showing they are an absolute force to be reckoned with in the modern Magic environment.
Absolutely. We see Ray at the top of the standings consistently at Pro Tours, at World Championships. Back over to Eli, who did have a Free the Fae, as you posited there, Monty, in hand.
Yeah, now moment of truth, and we are approaching the moment of truth as Ray doesn't actually need to untap with this Enduring Vitality. If they're able to resolve Vitality and have enough creatures to start generating mana, they can just win the game. So the clock is ticking for Eli to either have another answer by the time Ray has enough mana to cast its Vitality, or try to end the game, which Eli is way too far away from doing.
Ray Zhang in excellent position here with this Otters deck already so early right now in the game. Chipping in for damage here, taking Eli down to 16. 5 mana at the ready. We're going to get this Vitality back and pass the turn. Back over to Eli Swafford here on Oculus. Oculus has not been able to do much of anything so far in the game.
All right, Vitality down, and we are very close to Ray Zhang potentially being able to win this game, as I believe the only piece they're missing now is the Valley Floodcaller.
Chart, of course, digging for answers here for Eli, but yikes, it seems like it just might be too little too late.
We'll see.
Tap land.
Meticulous Archive, one of the most important lands for this Azorius Oculus deck, is being able to surveil something into the graveyard for you to be able to recommission or helping hand it back can be very important, but the shields are down for Eli, so if Ray has what they need here, they can just end the game, and the piece they are missing is Valley Floodcaller.
All right, we'll see if Ray Zhang has this game well and truly in the bag so quickly here in our quarterfinals. Hadijin on the table for Eli is going to get dealt with. Back to hand with that, this town ain't big enough.
Yeah, the sound ain't big enough, returning the Thunder Trap Trainer for Ray and the Hottigen for Eli. So Eli once again with essentially no board presence, and Ray with everything to work with here. I believe this is going to be an off-springed Thunder Trap Trainer trying to look for more cards, which indicates to me at least that Ray does not have the Valley Flood Caller yet.
Ray Zhang here considering their move at this point in the game. Like you mentioned, So very close to pulling off this combo.
Yeah, just thinking through the plays.
Okay. Here we go. We've got a Thunder Trap Trainer number 2.
Is this actually timed? Why do we have a timer for the top eight?
And there it goes, and we're going to take a look here at the top of the deck. There's this town ain't big enough. Pausing our timer now because our top 8 is actually untimed.
Yeah, so the first Thunder Trap Trainer, that is another hard one to say, finds that this sounded big enough. The second finds the all-important Analyze the Pollen, and that is going to be the piece that is able to go ahead and find the Valley Flood Caller. So I believe Ray has now essentially put Eli in check, saying that as soon as they are able to collect the evidence for this Analyze the Pollen, the game is on the verge of being over.
Does Eli Swafford have some kind of answer to break up this combo that Ray Zhang has put together? More digging. So not yet.
Moment of truth.
This is indeed the moment of the truth here for Eli Swafford in game number 1 of our quarterfinals. What did we find?
Notably, not that much interaction in Eli's deck, at least for the main deck. 2 copies of Soul Partition, which is temporary. 2 copies of Get Lost, which would do the job if that is something Eli has found. 3 copies of Phantom Interference, but that is something that Ray will be able to pay with the sheer amount of mana available to them.
Back over to Ray Zhang. Are they able to complete this combo? Monty, would you be willing to play this Otters deck in a big tournament like this?
Depends. How long have I been testing it?
I'll give you a couple weeks. Oh, there's Storm Chaser's talent.
If I believe that Otters is well positioned, if I have, let's say I'm testing with Sanctum of All and I have much smarter players than myself telling me that Otters is good for this tournament, I would put the time in and I would learn it and then I would be willing to play it. Yeah.
Yeah. Enduring Vitality into the red zone. Eli Swafford down to 10. Making some mana here.
Now, notably, Ray does not have the evidence to collect that they need to go for Analyze the Pollen, finding the Valley Flood Caller. So Eli still has some more time available to him.
Okay.
But Ray has got an aggressive, so not that much time.
Yeah, Ray can just attack with creatures. Also, turns out as a way you can win a game of Magic the Gathering, even if you are playing with a combo deck. So that is Ray Zhang taking down game number 1 here against Eli Swafford in our quarterfinals. More than one way to win a game with a combo deck, turns out.
Yeah, and we'll see if Eli can bring this back, at least in the post-board games. Eli gets more tools available to him in terms of interaction. Not that many more, but definitely more.
Let's take a look at player sideboards if we can and talk about what these players might want to bring in here in this matchup. You were just talking about Eli. What do you think he wants?
So it's interesting because the main thing Eli really needs here is negate, just to break up some of the key pieces of the combo. But the cards that he's brought overall don't line up that well into the matchup. There's no permanent removal, really. Soul Partition is temporary. Elspell Smite, once you're aware of it, you can absolutely play around it. So I think this specific build from Eli doesn't really offer the best tools into what Ray has brought.
Yeah, I don't think you're really planning to see that many otters in a tournament like this. Just not many people willing to put in the hours and hours necessary needed to learn this deck.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think for Eli, we'll bring some tools to try to buy time. The Soul Partition and the Negates have to come in to at least just slow down Ray, if not fully stop them. And hopefully that buys enough time for Eli to do his thing. But primarily, I would say that Eli is just trying to be faster and actually execute his game plan. We saw this game
Yeah.
was a bit of a stumble, missing a land drop, not really getting on the board fast enough, and then Ray was in full control.
Looking on the other side of things into Ray Zhang's sideboard here, it's a little unusual. I mean, the whole deck is a little unusual, to be honest. 3 Llanowars in the sideboard jumping out at me. We also have a Bonehard Dracosaur, Obstinate Baloth, Screaming Nemesis, 2 Lithomanthic Barrage, a Rebel Savo, 2 of them actually, 2 Paw Patch Formation, 1 Dissection Tools, 1 Up the Beanstalk, and 1 Bitter Reunion.
Yeah, I think for Ray, of course, as a combo deck, you really can't dilute too much. But the big thing that you're going to be looking at in your sideboard is the Lithomantic Barrages. Having a 1-mana uncounterable answer to all 3, well, both of the main threats
Yeah.
from the Oculus deck, as well as the Kiora, even though not the most important, it does exist, is really important. Otherwise, I'm not sure how much more help you get out of your sideboard if you are in Ray's position. You do also have the 2 Paw Patch formations, destroying creatures with flying, so those will certainly come in as well. So just some amount of removal without diluting your deck too much.
Sure, that's a great point. Players here consulting the other deck lists of the opposing players here in our top 8. Like we said, our top 8 is untimed, so the players do have more time than usual. However, they still have to play at a reasonable pace. You can't slow play, even though the match is untimed. And a lot on the line for these players. All of our top 8 have locked up a spot at the next Pro Tour, which is Pro Tour Ether Drift, coming up next month in Chicago. Wow, next month? Where does time go, Bonnie?
Yeah,
Seriously.
we're already there.
That's wild to think about. So congratulations to all of our top 8 for coming back. We're going to see you in Chicago. But of course, plenty more is still to play for. If we can take a look at our prizes here for our top 8, we have got $10,000 that is going to first place. That is nothing to sniff at. We've got $5,000 for second place, $2,500 for the top 4. Top 8 gets $1,000 for making it in, so congratulations to our players there. Top 16 gets $750, top 32 $550, top 64 $350. Not bad for a weekend. We have also had a lot of fun. Our winner also gets standard for a year, which is a play booster case of every standard legal Magic release in 2025. Imagine that showing up on your doorstep. Pretty sick.
Yeah, it's really cool, if nothing else. And there's a lot more to it. It's very valuable, but I just like the feeling of every time a new set is coming down, you just get to crack all these packs.
Monty, come on. You got to set up a draft. You got to play with your friends.
Okay. For the next Pro Tour, you can use your 1 play booster case of Ether Drift to draft with your friends, and then just crack the rest.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What value here for a winner of this tournament. This is an open tournament as well, everyone. If you're just joining us, we had 1,500 players on day 1 of competition, which is just incredible to see these large open tournaments return. I had such a blast playing these in the past. I walked around the venue. A lot of players said, you know, it's just fun to come out here and compete once again in one of these large opens, to see everybody from the good old days coming back and slinging some spells. Just an awesome vibe all around here in Atlanta this weekend.
And for game 2, we'll see if Eli on the play once again. Eli was the higher seed, so had the play in the first game, wasn't able to get the job there. So that is Ray breaking serve, which benefits them. We'll see if Eli has a good hand here that can help him in the second game of the matchup.
Players drawing opening hands here. Ray taking a mulligan. Obviously, mulligans with a combo deck, extremely important.
Yeah, you really do have to understand your spots and leverage them, but ultimately, if you're in Ray Zhang's seat, you're just trying to assemble the right combination of cards, and that sometimes means just mulliganing to find those pieces that allow you to set that up.
All right, we're going to draw another 7, see if we can find a better hand here for Zhang. Currently on 6. Story of the weekend as well has been how awesome Standard has looked. We want to thank our sponsors for this tournament too, Beckett and Dragon Shield. Big thanks to them for sponsoring these SCG cons this year. 2 incredible sponsors. Whether you're sleeving your cards with Dragon Shield or slabbing them with Beckett, our friends have you covered. A big thank you to these legends for sponsoring all SCG cons this year. And don't forget, you can order your Dragon Shield products right now on StarCityGames.com.
All right, I would guess that Ray has kept their hand of 6, and we are off. Meticulous Archive for Eli, turn 1, but
Helping
Benny
hand.
a helping hand is the opposite of what you're looking for.
That's not a helping hand at all. And this is exactly where Ray wants to be on turn 1 with that Storm Chaser's talent, bringing an Otter into play.
Yep. The game is well and truly rolling, and you know, this isn't typically considered a great matchup for Otters just because of the sheer speed of the Oculus deck and the consistency with which the deck plays. But one of the key cards that is integral to the consistency of Oculus, in my opinion, founding the third path, is one that Eli does not have available to him this weekend, chose not to bring it. And I'm curious if that will shift the matchup some percentage points in Ray's favor.
Otter getting in for damage now, down to 18 of Prowess Trigger. And there's Free the Fae from Eli.
I do have to say, Free the Fae has just been such an impressive card. Picklock Prankster is there as well, but really, Free the Fae is the all-star of the show, and has just made such a big impact in multiple formats, enabling the Phoenix decks and Pioneer, and just showing you what a simple 2-mana spell like this can do.
Bitter Reunion is the enchantment you see in play in front of Zhang here. When it enters the battlefield, you can discard a card if you do draw 2. You can also pay 1 to sacrifice it to give creatures you control haste until end of turn, which is important if you tap into those creatures for mana.
Yeah, and one of the cool things that Bitter Reunion does add is also that because it is a permanent, it is one of those cards that you can bounce with this town a big enough. So it's a way to use this town a big enough to get more looks at cards and sift through your deck, which is something that the deck may be missing sometimes. You don't want too many copies of Bitter Reunion, but having at least one can definitely help.
Chart a course and a pass from Eli. Yikes. Oculus, though, into the yard, so that is something.
I believe that's a recommission that is revealed from Eli, if I'm not mistaken, likely from that Free the Fae. I don't believe it is currently being cast, as we are on Ray's turn, and considering what is available to them, but Oculus in the yard means that at some point, Eli can recommission it back.
Here's Analyze the Pollen for Ray. Prowess Trigger onto the Otter.
Notably, Ray did go for an Enduring Vitality, but that was met with a Phantom Interference. The access to counter spells available for the Oculus deck is part of what makes the matchup tough for Teamer Otters. When you are a combo deck, what you typically do not like facing is a deck that has both pressure and disruption.
We have results from some of our other tables here. I'm going to let you know Nicholas Audenheimer, who's playing that really, really aggressive version of Gruul Aggro, taking down that match 2-1.
Yeah, Nicholas, after a tough match to end the Swiss, did come into our top 8 as the #1 seed, and now gets the job done in the quarterfinals, moving one step closer towards first place by moving on to the semifinals.
So congratulations to Nicholas there with that win. We are able to get this Eye into play with Helping Hand, Manifest Dread token into play as well. Zhang now knocked down to 17.
Yes, but I will say Ray does have a Vitality on the board, so this is the beginning of putting together a win. And I believe at the moment, Eli is tapped out from what I can see. So the coast is clear if Ray is able to cobble together the win here.
Yeah, we do have the critical pieces in play for Ray Zhang. We'll see if this Mull to 6 left them with what they need to get the job done combo-wise.
All right, well, Questing Druid is going to go on an adventure. That's Seek the Beast.
And we are seeking the beast. What did we find? We're going to use this island.
Yeah, unfortunately, not finding something like Valley Floodcaller to really get the ball rolling here. And I would guess that Ray is still missing a piece or two from what they need.
Just 2 lands in play for Eli Swafford to Ray Zhang's 5. Eli has just not been able to get off the ground quick enough in these games so far, Monty.
Yeah, no, definitely not. At least there is an Oculus in play. This is a better position than Eli found himself in at any point in the first game, but it really does feel like the clock needs to be a bit faster from Eli, or at least the ability to leave more mana up if he wants to be competitive, as Ray is continuing to develop and they're not that far away.
Ray here considering their plays so close to pretty much locking things up with just the right pieces. We're going to tap 3 mana, Enduring Vitality, going to play that as well off of that Seek the Beast.
Enduring Vitality is a 3/3 Vigilance, so Ray can pretty comfortably attack with that one into the 2/2 Manifest. And I do believe we have another result to announce, Maria.
Yes, McNamara. 2-0 in that matchup. McNamara running Dimir enchantments, and that is over Victor Moy on Gruul aggro.
So I believe Nicholas Ottenheimer was in a Gruul mirror, so that is the leyline version of Gruul beating one of the 2 regular Gruul decks, and with Scott McNamara winning, that is the other regular Gruul deck being knocked out, and we have Dimir enchantments and Gruul leyline moving into our semifinals.
Wow, congratulations to those players. Some very quick wins as well here in our top 8.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how things are going to play out throughout our semifinals. But of course, first we have to see who is going to be joining them out of Ray and Eli.
All right, here we have another eye cast for Eli. We're going to manifest Dread once again.
Yeah, so the previous turn, after Ray attacked, they used this town ain't big enough to return the Oculus that Eli had in play to Eli's hand, and then Eli used this turn to redeploy it, but that means Ray is untapping against a tapped-out opponent with 2 Vitalities and just looking for the Valley Floodcaller, to really get things rolling.
All right, we'll see if Ray can find these critical combo pieces here. You see them kind of tapping things out on the battlefield. There's a look at Valley Floodcaller on your screen. You can see why it's so incredibly powerful in this combo deck. We're going to play Questing Druid.
And this will lead into the Storm Chaser's talent that I believe Ray bounced the previous turn using their This Town Ain't Big Enough. So that will get a trigger onto the Questing Druid, creating another Otter as well.
So setup continues to go very smoothly here for Ray Zhang, but no nail in the coffin just yet.
Yeah, could level up the Storm Chaser's talent and return This Town Ain't Big Enough to their hand, but lacking the mana to cast it unless they sack that Bitter Reunion to give their creatures haste. That is indicating prowess triggers for that Otter. There's that Lithomatic Barrage.
Taking care of the Oculus. Oculus down, so just 2 manifest tokens in play. And here's a Bushwhack going to take care of another one of them.
Yeah, and Ray isn't worried about comboing out anymore. Ray is just going for the kill.
I mean, hey, like, that's what we saw the win, how they got the win in game number 1.
Yep.
In come the sheep. In come the otter.
Excuse me, Maria. Enduring Vitality is actually an elk. Thank you
Oh,
very much.
sorry. I was thinking of the sheep
Yeah,
from before, the white one.
not all enduring creatures are the same creature type, Maria.
Well, I know the blue one's a cat, so that's important to me.
Okay, that is the only one that actually matters to
Thank
you.
you.
I understand.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Anything else might as well just be a sheep. Let's
Just
get real.
wake up, sheeple.
Eli down to 6 after this attack. Zhang proving you can just smash face with this combo deck as well. A win's a win, no matter how you get it.
And this is a really tough spot for Eli because even if he has brought in a card like Temporary Lockdown, that's not going to stop these Enduring Vitalities from killing you. So Eli is in a position that is essentially check, and I think it might actually be closer to checkmate.
Yeah, I think you might be right here, Monty. Zhang sitting pretty with all of these creatures at 17. Eli looking down a pretty big and intimidating board on a number of different axes. Surveil. Okay, what can you do here, Eli? Cast a recommission. Eye back into commission. Will manifest dread.
Yeah.
Don't know if this gets you out of it.
There.
Nope.
Paw patch formation. And that's it.
Wow, that is going to do it. Zhang taking down this matchup over Eli Swafford. The combo deck doesn't even need to combo for the win. Congratulations to Ray.